Is regional identity relevant for young generation, or is identity rather coming from other aspects of life?
Well, sure. Regional identity is of course important for a young generation. If you think about it, it's maybe even more local identity than regional identity. Where you grow up, where you grew up, where you have your friends, where you have your school, where you have your first job, that is quite heavily tied into the development as a person. And then, of course, the regional development or the regional aspect of this comes in mind. So yes, of course, it is relevant, but I would actually even more focus on the local perspective.
I think, yeah, I'm just going to follow up on that because, like you say, we have also found and research showed that the local perspective is even more important than the regional aspect of it. But like also young people travel a lot and we move for studies, we move for different reasons. So place affiliation is not one thing. Young people often have multiple identities. And I think it's important to discuss that we don't ask us to choose. Sometimes you say, oh, do you have a really strong regional identity? And I say, yes, but I also have a very strong regional identity to Oslo. So that doesn't need to be a negative thing, that young people today have a more complex identity.
Thank you. I think that it's changing. If you asked me this question a few years ago, I would say that youth is not really connected to the region. The regional identity is very low and poorly in my region and from my point of view. But now I can see that it's changing so much. And last week I attended a meeting that was organized by BCCC, and then also a presentation from Youth Hub about youth national regional identity. And then I realized how young people from other Baltic countries are strongly connected with it.
But as indigenous youth, it's more about the regional, because, for example, Sami people, we are separated by borders, and we live in 4 countries. So we have to think more widely. We can't think locally. Of course, we have to work locally too, and work in our small community. But most of the Sami youth in Finland, they live outside the Sami home area. They live in Helsinki, in the bigger cities. So we need to do the work for them also, that they can feel connected to the land in the Sami home area, and also take care that they don't feel lonely in the city, that they know that they have a home here too.
I think lots of good points has been taken out, especially about these relations of local and regional identity. And I especially agree with Ingvild that identities are complex, and I would add that they are as well dynamic. And I think everybody should first identify who they are themselves and the way they find it most suitable. But I find the regional identity is important because, just like Anni-Sofia when you know where you are from, you may experience more responsibility and stronger relation with the community of the region and the surrounding environment as well.